Hi everyone, it's Chloe here and I'm the owner, maker and creator of Emmy Creations. Welcome back to my channel. So I have been quite busy in the background designing a lot of new toys, which you would have seen if you're following me on my Instagram, and I almost totally forgot to give you an update on how my last market went. So this video will be talking about my last market, which was at Kirribilli, which happened a week ago, and I'm gonna break down everything that happened and also how much I earn and also my expenses as well, because that was actually one of the questions that a lot of people asked me in my comments, and also in my Instagram, asking what my expenses were and how much I spent on expenses and what was my actual net profit for doing a market. And I guess I want to be honest and be transparent when it comes to the finances around markets, because I know a lot of people are thinking about whether or not to sell at markets and they're unsure if they will make profit. So I thought I would be open and transparent about my numbers, just to give you a bit of insight into all the different expenses that I have to pay for the day. But just a really quick run through in terms of how the day went. It went really well as well compared to the first time, and I think this time round I felt like it was a little bit more difficult, even though it ran well similar to last time, but I felt like it was more difficult only because one, there were other crocheters that were selling toys at the market. And from what I heard from one of the customers who looked at my store, they literally said, oh, it's literally a crochet market today. And then I thought, oh, what do they mean by that? So I asked my husband to go around and just do a bit of spying and snooping just to see how many other crochet stores there were, and he came back telling me that there were 5 other ones, and they were all selling little toys like mine, little keychains, also selling macrame stuff as well. So there were 5 other toys that were selling similar products to my store. And when I heard that, I was like, oh no, I'm probably not going to get too much sales. But interestingly enough, I actually made a similar amount to what I did last time. So this time I actually made $951.50. And if I remember correctly, my last market, I made $946.50. So I actually made $5 more in this market. So even though there was a little bit more competition, it did not affect my sales. I actually saw people coming to my store, look at my toys, and then they would walk over to the opposite side, which was where one of the other crocheters were, and actually bought their toys instead. So there was definitely a bit more competition this time round, and I think that might have affected my sales a little bit, but also meant people knew that there were a lot of crochet stores, so they actually looked around before they would come back to my store or to another store to purchase the toy, which is actually what happened as well. There were a lot of people who actually said, I'll come back, and they did come back, and they actually bought some toys from me. So I guess, like I said before, any competition is also good competition, but it's just, you just need to make sure that the items that you're selling is not too similar to the items that other people are selling. And thankfully for myself, none of those other stores were selling 小笼包 or dim sum at all. So I was the only store selling those. However, the other stores did sell the smaller cotton toys or the chubby toys, so those didn't sell as well for my store specifically. So yeah, but I'll go through everything that was at my store. But overall, in terms of market, it went well. There was a really nice high period, and then there was a low period where I had no sales for like 2 hours. So I was just standing around twiddling my thumbs, and also ran out of yarn, so I couldn't crochet. I crocheted an extra chubby 小笼包, and with that, I ran out of yarn. I didn't think to bring more yarn with me, but anyway, so there was 2 hours where I had no sales, and I was a little worried because at that point I only made, I think, $600, and I thought, oh, it's a dud of a market this time, even though $600 is a lot. But when I look back at my expenses, it wouldn't be that much. But anyways, I'm gonna go through the items that I actually sold at the market, and I've written it all in this book. So in terms of toys, I sold, oh no, I didn't sell actually. I will talk about what items I bought to the market. So in terms of toys, I bought to the market 13 chubby toys, 10 cotton toys, 33 dim sum toys, and 3 Totoro toys, which came down to a total of 59 toys. In terms of my macrame stuff, I bought 17 keychains and wristlets, combined total. Kits, I only bought 8 kits, and I realized I should have bought more because I actually sold really well. Mug rugs, I only had 3 because I didn't make more. Brooches, I only had 12 because I didn't make more as well. Cards and stickers, I only bought 20 cards and stickers because they didn't really sell that well last time, and I didn't think I needed to bring more of those, which I was right. Enamel pins, I bought 9. Enamel stitch markers, and I bought 15. So in the total number of items that was at my store was 143 items, which sounds like a lot because when I look at my store, it does not look like I had 143 items. But when I think about it, I had the smaller items like my stickers, my cards, the stitch markers, and the enamel pins. So those smaller items didn't take up a lot of space, and that's probably the reason why it didn't look like I have a lot of stuff. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there were 8 different categories of items that I sold at my market. And in terms of how much I sold, in terms of toys, I sold 22 of the toys out of the 59, and the toys that sold the best was actually, so I only had 3 Totoro toys, but those 3 Totoro toys were sold straight away as soon as the market started. My next bestseller was actually the dim sum. I actually made a lot more this time, so I have a lot more left, but I did actually sell more this time in terms of the dim sum. The chubbies sold pretty well, but like I said before, I did have a bit of competition with another store, and I saw people holding their chubby toys before they reached mine. So I did sell 6 of those chubby toys out of the 13, and my least best-selling toys were actually my cotton toys, because right across from me was someone else selling cotton toys similar to mine, and I couldn't compete with her prices. Her prices was a lot cheaper than mine, and I did kind of second guess if I overpriced my toys, but I also thought about, these are handmade toys. I know how much time and effort went into them, so I wasn't going to reduce my prices to match my competitor. So that was me standing my ground in terms of that, but that also meant that I didn't sell as many in terms of the cotton toys. For my kits, I sold 7 out of 8 of my kits, and I thought that they wouldn't sell as well this time, because last time only 3 kits or 4 kits were sold, and I just thought, oh, I don't think they're gonna sell as much as compared to last time. But I was wrong. Like literally almost all of my kits except for 1 sold. So I'm gonna have to make a lot more kits for this particular market next time. Rather than 8, maybe I'll make 15, maybe I'll double the stock, I don't know. But people kept asking me about the Silong Bao kit, and I only made 2 of those, so I'm going to keep in mind that I need to make more of those kits because those are actually the most popular ones. Mug rugs, 1 out of 3 sold. Brooch, 1 out of 12 sold. Cards and stickers, so combined there were 8 that were sold out of 20. 1 enamel pin sold. So with the enamel pins, I wasn't too surprised that it didn't sell as well at this particular market. But I'm hoping when I sell at the Coco Kauai market in September, then maybe they will sell a little bit better, and then I will consider making more enamel pins depending on I guess how many more artist markets that I will do, because right now I'm doing the Kirribilli Markets, which is not a specific artist market, whereas with Coco Kawaii, that is very specific as an artist market. So a lot of things that they sell are stickers and enamel pins, and I remember talking about this in my previous video, that my stickers cards sold really well at Coco Kawaii, so maybe the enamel pins will sell well there as well. So I wasn't too surprised that only one sold on the day. And in terms of stitch markers, 0 was sold. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I think because most of the people who go there, they're not actually crocheters, and because they're not crocheters, or they don't know how to crochet, they wouldn't automatically buy a stitch marker. So I might have to remove that item from my store, from my market stores, and just keep it online for people who I guess are crocheters and need stitch markers, I guess. And I'm actually also thinking about, with my stitch markers, that it might be a product that I will stop selling once I sell out on them. I don't have a lot left, but they're not one of my best sellers in my online store as well. So those are things I have to consider while I do these markets and while I also sell online. So yeah, in terms of number of items that was sold, there were 40 items out of 143. So I think that's quite similar to my previous markets. From memory, my previous markets, around 40 items were sold as well. So I guess in terms of the 3 markets I've done so far, it's been quite consistent in terms of the number of items sold and also my earnings. So that's quite positive for me. It would mean that I would definitely continue to keep doing markets, depending on whether I have the time allowance for it. Because when it comes to handmade toys, as you would all know, or some of you may know, it takes a long time to make a single toy. But yeah, these are really promising numbers now that I can see there is a consistency across my sales for the markets that I have done. So yeah, so just to refresh in terms of how much I earned by selling those 40 items, I earned $951.50. So yeah, so that was close to 1,000, but it hasn't hit 1,000 yet. I'm really hoping that one day that one of my markets will reach that $1,000 mark, and then I'll be like, oh, I feel so accomplished. But you know, like 1 day's of work to earn $951.50, it's not bad. It's pretty good. But I have to say it is quite tiring. Every time after a market, I would crash for a whole week, and I just don't want to do anything for a whole week. I don't even want to socialize. I don't even want to see people. And this is the introvert side of me that's saying all of this, because I'm very introverted. I don't know if you probably can't tell from these videos because I'm just talking to a camera and I feel very comfortable talking to the camera and to you guys. But I'm a very introverted person, so doing these markets do take a toll on me. I don't know if you've ever done those personality tests, but I remember the last time I did it, my introversion was at 92%, which is crazy. But I think I should do it again and see if that's changed, because I feel like it might have changed. But anyways, I'm going off topic. So the next thing I want to talk about, and is actually what most people want to know, was in terms of the market expenses. So for this market, and I will run through all the different expenses that were paid for the day. So there was the market fee. So the hiring of the store is $130. But to get but if you don't have insurance, for example, like for myself, I don't have insurance when it comes to selling at these markets. You can pay an extra $20 for that. So I pay the extra $20 just in case anything gets lost or broken. At least the market will cover that cost for me. So that is, it comes down to $150 for the market fee. In terms of materials, so I actually did did a count of all the yarn that I used, the eyes that I used, how much stuffing I used, and how many keychains. And with all the materials cost calculated, I actually spent $126.50 on my materials. And this is a rough estimate because I don't use all the yarn that I've used, or I don't use all the stuffing, like the whole bag of stuffing, for example. So it comes down to $126.50 for the materials for the items that were displayed on the day. If I was to, in terms of, because I didn't sell everything, if I was to calculate just the items that I did sell, then that number would definitely be less than, you know, it would probably be around like $60 maybe, $50-$60 on materials of the items that were sold. But for this case, I'm just going to do a combined amount for all the items that were displayed at my market. So yeah, so in terms of the market tables and the displays, I'll just tell you that everything that I used for the display at my market was $122.60. But these items are long-term uses, so I'm not going to add this amount to the expenses for here, but just to give you an indication of how much my display cost, it was $122.60, which actually is not too bad. I don't think I overspent, and I tried to be very cost efficient when it came to my display. So as you would have seen, I had, you know, boxes, I had obviously 2 tables, which were probably the most expensive item there. I had my new pegboard, which was $25. So, but then, like I said before, these are items that I'll be using constantly at every single market that I sell at. So I'm not going to apply this expense here for this particular market, but I just wanted to let you know. Transaction fee for this market was only $15. So as you would know, I use a Square reader to for people who want to pay with card, and the transaction fee there was $15. Petrol was $30 because it is actually quite, it's not too far of a drive from where I live to the Kirribilli Markets, but it does suck up the petrol. So it was around $30 of petrol there. And in terms of food, it was around $15. My husband just went to Bread Top and bought some buns for me. Not that I was very hungry, because I was snacking on nuts the whole day, because there was a period where there was, like I said, no people coming by my store, so I was just snacking. And I don't know if that was just me really anxious about not getting sales. I was just snacking away, and I think people they were watching me snack, and I don't know if it's because I was snacking they didn't come to me because they didn't want to disturb me from eating or something. I don't know. But yeah, food was $15. So in terms of expenses, the total expenses for the day minus the market table and display, it came down to $336.50. So if I was to apply that to my total revenue, my net profit came down to $615. So if I was to compare that to last time at the Kirribilli Markets, so obviously with last time, I didn't account for the materials and things, but when I look at the numbers, it's actually very similar. So in terms of my net profit, it was $615, and my expenses was $336. So when I showed my husband these numbers, he was like, that's not bad. That's pretty good. You still, you know, made like 1/3 of your earnings was your expenses. And I was like, oh, 1/3 is still quite a lot. So, but at least on the day I didn't make a negative, which is good, and I still made $615. But I hope like breaking down all these expenses will give you a bit of insight in terms of how much you can expect to earn, or how much you can expect to spend for the day. And I guess based on these numbers, I guess, and this is just for one day that I've broken down my expenses against my overall sales. But I guess you can assume if you want to put a, you know, fraction or percentage to it, it's, you know, 33% go, or 1/3 goes to expenses and 2/3 you profit. But yeah, I really hope that this gives you an indication of, you know, how much expenses you'll be expecting to spend for a market if you're planning to start a market or sell at a market. But yeah, my hope for next time, because my next market is in June, at the end of June. Hopefully it will do even better. I guess it's gradually doing a little bit better, and I'm getting more interest as well. People from the markets, they actually send me DMs on my Instagram requesting commissions, and obviously because I'm quite busy myself, I try to keep it quite realistic in terms of, you know, time frames and stuff. But I never thought that I would accept commissions at my market, but I actually thought, you know what, why not? But obviously I just need to be really transparent about time frames and, you know, when I can get a particular toy to them. But yeah, that's another thing. If you're hosting a market, definitely make it known that you are accepting commissions. For myself, I am more focused on pattern designing, so I don't put a sign up saying commissions available, because I don't think I have the capacity to be designing and making commissions at the same time. But if that is something that you guys want to do, then I definitely encourage you to, you know, put a sign up saying commissions available. You know, ask for commissions, and if you know what your capacity is, just let people know, or just, yeah, you could let people know that there are 5 slots left for your commissions, or 3 slots left, or, you know, just be transparent about that, because you don't want to overwork yourself as well, because, you know, at the end of the day, making a toy takes a lot of time, but commissions also bring in quite a bit of sales as well. So for this particular market, I actually scored 3 commissions, and I was very transparent with those people, and I just let them know that, you know, it's going to be a 1 to 2 month wait, depending on the toy, because I might not have the yarn colors that they want, and I have to order the yarn, and it takes time for the yarn to come as well, and then there's the making side of things. So but yeah, I was very against doing commissions for a while, but I guess because it is also my low season right now, I'm more open to it. But once I hit my high season, which is around October, which is when it starts, I won't be doing as many markets actually. So after my June market, I actually don't have a market for July or August, because I have some collaborations that's happening in those months, and I need to focus on those rather than focusing on a market. But yeah, so I just rambled off topic for some reason. But basically what I'm trying to say is, if you want to earn some extra money at your markets, definitely put a commission sign up. But yeah, I really hope this video was informative in terms of my expenses and you know, items that sold well and didn't sell well at my market, and hopefully it will give you some insight on that side of things. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna stop rambling now because I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more exciting content. But otherwise, I will see you all very soon. Bye.